Welcome to a brand new set of Devos that I have called How to Be Generous. I've never met a person, Christian or non-Christian, that wouldn't like to be more generous. So I thought about what would it be like if we really looked at what generosity looks like apart from the financial side of things. A lot of times we just tend to focus on generosity being about money, but that's not what it is. Generosity is so much more than that. And as we think of our lives, we have to examine ourselves and ask ourselves, how can we be more generous? So the first thing that I want you to realize about being generous is it's important to get practical. Again, a lot of us, what we do is we go to the pie in the sky. We try to examine, if I just had a little bit more money, if I just could be completely debt-free, then I could be generous. That's not practical. You don't want to wait to be generous until you have an ideal situation. You want to look for practical ways to exercise generosity when God puts it on your heart, and you can meet needs that way. James talks about this in his letter. And if you know anything about the book of James, you'll know it's as straightforward as it gets. He doesn't mince words. He doesn't really kind of soft soap the message. And this is what he says about this idea of being practical when it comes to giving to others. He says in James chapter 2, verses 15 through 16, if a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and be filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? And I would take it a step further. If there's something practical you know someone needs, and you can do it, and you are like, well, I'm just praying for you, I hope that that goes well for you, and go and be filled, you're missing out on the opportunity, because generosity doesn't have to be this really massive thing. Sometimes the most generous thing that you can do for someone is to help them deal with something super annoying. So for instance, what I used to do, and I've done this for a handful of people in the church, and as the church has gotten bigger, I can't do it as much anymore, but if I found out people, some close leaders in the church were going on vacation, I would volunteer to drive them to the airport. And the reason why is because it's annoying. Now, this is before Uber became big too, but it's annoying to have to drive to the airport or get a ride to the airport if you're going to catch an early morning flight at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I'm a pretty early person, and Pastor Mike's a pretty early person. So what I would do is I'd be like, hey, listen, count on me to be your ride to the airport. Now, that's really dumb, but when somebody's looking for a ride to the airport and they don't have a family member that gets up super early or that's not willing to do it, it's really nice to check that out of their mind that, oh, I have a ride to the airport, or volunteer to pick somebody up from the airport. That's one. If somebody is, working really late, send them a Grubhub gift card. Now, that's more on the financial side of things, but those little things, they really make a difference when it comes to helping somebody. You can make somebody a meal. We have a lot of people in the church that do this as a part of their ministry. If somebody loses a loved one, what they'll do is they'll prepare a dinner for their family, and they'll do it like around after everything's kind of settled down, because everybody's bombarding people at first when they lose someone, but a week later, after everything's settled down, that's when you really need somebody. So don't be afraid to get practical when it comes to your generosity, and allow God to use you in a way that He wants you to be used in generous areas of giving.